And I just want a couple, as I say, foreshadowing, because we're going to go more into depth in terms of Guatemala and El Salvador, and then tomorrow with Elliot Abrams. I mean, there's a whole world to lay to waste with this guy, and all obviously U.S. foreign policy that he represents. I've kind of had a soft spot for Kilmeade recently, and I mean, just in the sense that occasionally he seems to not, he's sort of been caught up to like 2002 in terms of like overt racism.
And he can have instinctively human responses, which are normally conditioned out of Fox News.
Right, which you'll never see from a Ducey. But I just want to, look, it's Fox and Friends. They're stupid. They're immoral. They don't know anything. I just want, as a foreshadowing, just to be really clear, when we talk about like what the Reagan administration backed in El Salvador in the 80s as an example, we're not talking about, I don't know what they mean. Maybe it's almost like you're trying to conjure, conjure almost like a Singapore image. Like, oh, like Lee Kuan Yew had to arrest. And by the way, this is wrong too. But you're conjuring an image of like, oh, well, you put some people in jail, you shut down some newspapers, which, by the way, should be unacceptable in and of itself. But just to be really clear here, there are documented cases of El Salvadoran soldiers going into a family's home, beheading everybody, and then doing it around a table so that the heads are reattached to the body with oh no hands on their faces and a bowl of blood in the middle of the table. I mean, you're talking about the types of things that honestly, I guess if you were looking, some persons have said ISIS would be similar. That's true. And then some stuff that you would see in the cartel wars was the governments that the Reagan administration was not only financially and politically, but like morally backing, like greeting in the White House. And there were endless contemporaneous reports of what was happening. And Elliot Abrams was going, I don't see that as, I don't think that's true. So just to be clear here, as we laugh at the, in this case, as dumb as he is, just totally immoral, Brian Kilmeade, keep that in mind.
She's accusing him of being a liar and wanted to know about the Iran-Contra affair.
He is a liar.
Well, she was, listen, in El Salvador, in Nicaragua, in that region, Bolivia, there was a communist infiltration in the 1980s, and President Reagan wasn't going to have it. He was going to make sure that the Russians and then the Soviets were not going to infiltrate and take over our hemisphere. So to do that, you had to do some extreme work. He's part of that work, and the efforts of that gave us El Salvador, which is closer to a democracy than not, right. And Central and South America are the president should be very proud of his foreign policy. For this freshman congresswoman to be that dismissive and condescending to someone like Elliot Abrams is beyond the pale. Democrats should all be embarrassed.
Yeah, we should really be embarrassed. First of all, he was a liar. He was literally pardoned for his role in Iran-Contra. That's on the public record. I know obviously there's no research staff there. And then, again, extreme work, as he sounds like the general character in Doctor Strangelove.
That is an amazing on-the-fly euphemism. Very revealing.
Orwellian's overused, but what other word could you use to describe that? I thought collateral damage was a cynical evasion of a profoundly ugly truth. Extreme work. What is this, like a new, like Kilmeade's new regimen at the Equinox? Wow. Beyond disgusting. All right.